1 billion people live in the world today with restricted mobility or disabilities. Differently enabled exists to help these people look good, feel good, and do good. Having a career in fashion for the past 3 decades, I always thought fashion was inclusive. There were barriers to entry, such as price. I've worked in luxury and I've worked in high street, and the attitude, and maybe this isn't fair, but the attitude was, well, just don't buy so many clothes. Just buy something that's luxury and buy less and save your money. The only other barrier that I ever really thought about, and not for very much, was, well, if things didn't fit you, that was the customer's issue. You know, if you want to wear our clothes, you need to make this much money, or you need to look like this in terms of your body shape or size. I know I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I never thought of that as being arrogant. It was sort of like, but we're designing this, and if you want to be part of that, you can. It's your decision whether you want to be skinny enough or whether you want to be rich enough. It's your decision. And suddenly, it wasn't my decision. There was a whole nother aspect to fashion where it's completely exclusive. And it never dawned on me until I was in that position. When I came out of the coma from COVID, and as I understood how severe my illness had been, Michael, who was my occupational therapist, said to me, the sooner we get you in your own clothes, the better. And that's because when you're in your own clothes, you feel better about yourself. They're yours, as opposed to a hospital gown, which is there to cover the basics, but to allow the medical staff to have access to you easily because you're in hospital. And then the next day, it was time for my physio, and I was sitting in my trousers that I could get on myself in a chair, and I needed to urinate, and I couldn't undo the drawstring, and they didn't have a fly. And it was like, great, I completely wet myself, and I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't get up and get to a toilet. I couldn't get a urine bottle. I had a urine bottle, but I couldn't use it because I couldn't get my trousers down. Michael walked in, the occupational therapist walked in, and I was like, well, this is pretty, sitting here in a puddle of my own urine. And he was like, Craig, it's totally normal. You're in hospital, you're in recovery. What you've learned is you need an elastic waistband, that you can't yet handle drawstrings when they're tied in a knot. What you've learned is you need a fly in your trousers. And that stuck with me because I never thought about basic day-to-day activities and needing apparel to adapt to that or allow you to have easier access for toileting, for example.
So one of the goals I kind of spoke about with Craig was dressing, taking into account he was experiencing post-COVID disability in the form of post-COVID fatigue and post-ICU generalized weakness. So just being knocked off kilter and your body not performing the way it had done previously. So it was around setting realistic goals with Craig. I obviously didn't know Craig was so into fashion when I recommended he start relying heavily on sweatpants and make them his best friend. But in fairness to him, he took it well, and we kind of adapted the task in terms of how he was able to function in that moment and breaking it down and adapting how one might dress. So considering the effort and the kind of body function needed to complete it in the previous pattern. So standing in a rush, so adapting it to planning for the best time of the day to do the task, doing it in sitting as opposed to a standing, and adapting it, and then adapting the clothes themselves to make it easier to complete the task.
And then when I came home, I found that I was going through, or having my husband go through, my clothes for things that had the requirements that I needed so that I could put them on easily, get them off easily, get to the bathroom, take a shower, whatever. And so I laid out those few pieces of clothing in a spare bedroom. It went from a big, huge selection of clothing that allowed me to express myself and dress for the occasion or for the moment or for whatever I was doing that day, to these are the 5 things you can wear. That's it. And again, that was quite impactful in my life, and especially at that point, because I never thought that fashion was exclusive. I always thought fashion was completely inclusive. And then I realized it's not. But when it dawned on me that there are people who have different needs for apparel, and if you look at what's out there to meet those needs, quite often that apparel is not designed well, it's not expressive of the personality, it's not fashion, it's recovery wear, or it's hospital gowns. They're there for the benefit of more the medical industry than the people wearing them. And I thought, I'm in this very unique position where I know enough talented people around the globe and enough amazing technology providers to bring everyone together in this collaborative environment. You know, we at Differently Enabled consider ourselves to be a laboratory, a team of researchers and designers and manufacturers who are looking at new ways to do this so everyone can be part of fashion and part of and express their own style. That's what fashion's about. And disability just happens to be an aspect of someone's life. It's not who they are. They're amazing individual people who want to express themselves and want to feel good about going to their closet. And what do I feel like wearing today and what I can wear today should be the same thing. So we've broken our process down into 4 easy steps. The first one we call getting to know you, and that's when we work with a customer through a variety of means to understand your story, your history, your relationship with fashion, what you like, what you don't like. And then our second we refer to as let's play dress up. So that's when we start to show you ideas based on what we've learned about you. And then the next phase, number 3, is scan and go. So that's where we work with you to get body measurements, look at photographs, take scans, etc., using technology to help us best understand your specific individual requirements. And then the 4th we refer to as co-create. So now we go back and show you the final product and allow you to do any modifications to it as we go into manufacture. We start by engaging with you, asking you questions, understanding about your life, understanding about you, understanding how you feel about, understanding what your disability is, understanding how you feel about that disability, and understanding how you want others to think about you and your disability. And then we want to know about what colors you like and what are your favorite things in your wardrobe. And then we work with you to explore designs that are relevant to what you've said, in the colors that you like, and the shapes that you like, and the fabrics that you like, if you know what fabrics you like. We also do things like look at your social media, understand more about you from that. You know, if you share a playlist with us on Spotify, that tells us an awful lot about what you like and your personality.
So during my interviewing process with Catherine Goodyear, and Catherine is living with Down syndrome, and she's a 33-year-old woman and a lovely, lovely woman. And she is a ballroom dancer. She and her husband, Sam, who also is living with Down syndrome, and they compete in ballroom dancing. And so I personally love to design evening wear and ball gowns, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to create something for her that she could dance in. And so I pulled this black lame fabric and this cotton ottoman fabric, which has kind of a rib in it. And the reason I did the bodice in cotton was when you're dancing and you perspire, it's much cooler. And the black lame is very lightweight.
So I am working on some styles for Sam, and after speaking with him and talking about some of the things that he likes in terms of his wardrobe, it turned out that some of his favorite colors, or one of his favorite colors, is red, and he likes to wear shirts. He likes to wear t-shirts as well with logos and such, but after review with some of the fabrications that I have at my disposal, I decided to play around with this fabric here, which is a beautiful cotton red and white stripe. And I think it's going to be interesting. I love to play with the geometry of stripes, so I'm excited to do something with this. And I think to coordinate, we'll just go with a solid. Black is one of his primary colors that he likes to wear. So I have a nice heavy twill here for a chino type pant that I'm going to work with. And let's see what we can do.
And then we collaborate with you. We co-create designs. We show you sketches. We show you fabrics. We take the fabrics in a 3D space, and we create sort of a digital twin of your clothes, show you what the clothes would be like, show you how the operational aspects of those clothes would work, and allow you to play with that.
We as humans have to fit in a sort of standardized principle of mass production that we kind of have to fit in a frame, and this for itself in the 21st century is not making so much sense to me. We are talking here about morphotypes. So morphotypes are different body types, so to say. That means that you can be, for example, a size M, and you can still have a completely different body topology, which is divided throughout your body or over your body. These different morphotypes within one size, they are making it so difficult to just have a standard size M, because the different body types or morphotypes, they have the different proportions in the different areas of the body. Be Aware's main purpose is that we want to have an inclusive approach where we are integrating everyone and everybody. So how does it work? You can put your smartphone, for example, in front of you, and then you place yourself with fit tight clothes in front of the device. And you also have to take care that you put your hair up in a bun if you wear long hair. And then what you have to do is turn around 360 degrees, like in an A position. So that means your arms are stretched out, and that is it. And then from this process, we generate a 3D scan model from yourself. So we call it a digital twin.
And then we move into manufacturing. We manufacture on demand, and we manufacture regionally. So therefore, we have less of a carbon footprint, and we also look to utilize excess raw materials that big brands have. Coming out of COVID and coming out of the pandemic, the retail industry is full of excess fabrics and raw materials. But we're also quite keen to understand more about recycling and taking fibers that are local. We're not interested in growing organic cotton. We're not interested in changing the farming industry. We're interested in how do we find cotton that's already been woven into fabric, or how do we find fibers that are from recycled fabric. So again, everything that we do is a research opportunity. And then your clothes are made specifically for you. So they are one of a kind when you think about it. And then the cool part of it is we also use, and I know this may sound quite foreign, but we use the Internet of Things. We tag your fabrics, we tag your designs. So all during the process, you're given updates, and as they come to you, you have a QR code on your DE product that allows you to see the journey that it came from, to understand the provenance, to understand care instructions. And if it's something you really like and you want to order more, well, we can engage with you through that as well. So everything from how we work and talk to you all the way through to post-sales, once you have the product, we want brand ambassadors. We want people to come back. We want people to be part of the community. We've often been told that we're more than a fashion label. We're really a movement. We are still in our research phase here at Differently Enabled. And so what we are looking for are more people to participate in our Friends and Family Champion Round. So we've created a website for you to register your interest if you'd like to participate in our 4-step process. Out of that, we will create garments for you that will be at no charge, because we're learning with you. And that's what our first round is for. So if you're interested in that, please visit our website, which is differentlyenabled.com, and sign up and register to be a friend and family champion. If you're not interested in doing that, but you would like to keep abreast of our work, what we're doing, and when we do launch our shopping site, when we go live, you can also go to differentlyenabled.com and register to be on our mailing list, and to be notified as an insider when we start our commercial offering.